welcome to Anime Watch Club, a bi-weekly group discussion and review where the hosts of the What You Say Anime podcast nominate and vote on shows either we haven't seen or shows that hopefully lead to a great discussion. On today's episode, the shit, are we watching Rose Maiden again? Puppeteers of the What You Say Anime podcast will be reviewing the 2004 and OVA, the Portrait of Petit Cossette. Let's meet today's Victorian doll enthusiast. First up, she knew from the jump to never trust an Italian whose last name was Orlando. We got Jolene. Jolene, how's it going?
We're not watching Rose Maiden again because Rose Maiden had a plot to speak of.
I don't know. We'll talk about it, but
Based.
pretty easy plot to follow, in my opinion.
Oh, well, that voice you hear is our first moderator tonight, and he for sure has a thing for dolls. We got Miles. Miles, how's it going?
There are no dolls in this.
Sure.
There's just people that look like the dolls in Rose Maiden.
Yeah. Definitely didn't have that tie-in at all. And Pat.
Hello. Welcome to Le Watch Club de Le Portrait de Petit Cossette. All right, no, that's enough of that.
Thank you.
But yeah, we watched Le Portrait de Petit Cossette today, and for our Watch Club, it's a show, or actually, it's technically, it is a show. It's an OVA from 2004, done by Studio Dalme, with the genres of drama, horror, romance, and supernatural, themes of gore, psychological, and visual arts. Rated R, so no kids. Kids, get out of here. And yeah, why don't we just get off with our first impressions? I guess just off the first episode, or just general vibes, maybe.
Yeah.
Since it's a pretty short piece of content. It's like 90 minutes long. So Miles, why don't you get us started? First impressions, and would you recommend this show or not?
Yeah, so I first heard of this on a list of horror anime that people liked from a long time ago, and I can't even remember the YouTuber's name at this point, so I apologize for not being able to shout out them. But it's something I'd been meaning to watch for a while, but I just never got around to it, even though it's short. Part of that reason was I thought it would be old looking, insofar as when we watched now and then here or there or whatever, as it's sort of a short OVA. I thought the production value would be kind of bad, so I was very pleasantly surprised about that. As I watched it, I thought it was all very good. As far as the show itself, it's more or less what I expected. I sort of expected a relatively avant-garde trip through someone's delusions, and I got it. I would recommend this. I think this is very good. I think if you like things that this screenwriter worked on later, such as Monogatari or Madoka Magica, and maybe even March Comes In Like a Lion, which sort of stands out amongst the other works that they have done. This is something that you would enjoy. You sort of see the genesis of the Shaft head tilt in this, which is sort of fun. This isn't done by Shaft, but it moved on. So if you're into that sort of thing, I would definitely give this a watch. It's nice and quick, and at the very least, is pretty looking. So...
Yeah, same studio as Shiki as well, right? There's the
Yes.
connection there. So, sweet. All right, Julian, how about you?
What the actual heck did I watch? Sorry, I was censoring myself so Pete doesn't get demonetized. But what was I watching here? I don't know if I can recommend this to anybody because it's literally the last episode is basically somebody's Minecraft world getting griefed. That's pretty much what it looked like to me. And that's all I could describe it as. And I watched it with somebody who I went to the gym with a friend, and she came back, and I was like, sorry, I gotta finish this anime real quick. Don't ask me what's going on because I have no idea. And then she asked me what was going on, and I was like, I have no idea. I watched all 3 episodes of this, and I have no clue what is going on here. I do think that the production value was pretty decent. I heard Miles saying that in our Discord chat that it has good production value for 2004, and I don't think that's actually true. I've actually watched quite a few things from 2004, and there's a lot of good quality stuff. I think that this is strictly average for 2004 production, actually.
Really? I think this is better than most things that come out today, but we can talk about it later.
Well, yeah, but that's because anime's garbage nowadays. Am I right, fellas? Shout out Cheese
Yeah.
Review. No.
Whoa, that's worse.
Whoa.
That's worse than swearing.
Who did we shout out?
Don't say it.
Yeah, I'm
Who
not
you
gonna
shall
say it
not
again.
be named.
Yeah. Trent, bleep that out. Anyway, I think that like if you want to just like kind of spend an hour and a half of your life or so watching some like weird melodrama that doesn't have any real unifying plot structure, it seems, that randomly devolves into music videos like 2 or 3 times an episode, then yeah, sure, go ahead. But if you're somebody who like values your time and has respect for the medium as a whole, don't watch this. I wouldn't recommend it.
Very,
Crazy.
very good review. Like, I agree with you on that last episode point. It almost felt like watching an AMV on YouTube at some points where I was just like, what's going on? I'm so lost. So,
Mhm.
maybe that's so again, I do think we will talk about that later because it sounds like there's some disagreement. Pete, what are your first impressions and recommendation
Well,
for
I'm gonna
this?
fall somewhere in between these two because while I don't think it was good, I don't think it was as bad as it may be portrayed, but I do think it was somewhere in the middle. First impressions, I'm with Miles with this. I thought the production value for a 2004 show looked really good. It reminded me a lot of something like Paranoia Agent off the get go, which I'm a fan of that show and its production. But I don't know. I don't know what the hell happened in this show, to be honest. It was kind of like I don't know. It felt like it was trying to be like 6 shows at once, and then trying to be like 2 stories at once, and I didn't really like follow or care more than anything about what was happening. There were some really cool moments throughout the show that we're probably gonna get to, but I think I would recommend this show. Like if you're a diehard like Monogatari fan and sort of seeing like the beginning works of this director, kind of like how I am with like Satoshi Kon, where it's like I need to watch every Satoshi Kon. It's cool to like kind of see like the origins of this director and sort of seeing him, move into the Monogatari series. March comes in like a lion. Looks like some Fate stuff. Like this guy does a lot of like high profile work. So if you want to see like the origins of this guy, like definitely the head tilt stuff from like Shaft. I think it'd just be cool just to check out if you're like a historian because it's only like an hour and a half long or whatever. But if you're like a normal anime watcher, nah, this ain't it. So I would say overall a not recommend for me.
That's a great way to put it, Pete, I think, because I was also going to say that, if you're Miles, I'm not sure if I recommend this to you or not. However, as we say, like regular or like a normie, use the T word
Don't use
to
it.
describe people. Yeah, no,
T word. Wait,
no,
okay, I'm
I'm
thinking
Okay.
of something else. My fault.
well, yeah, no, the anime T word. Jesus, yeah, like
It's
that.
funny because I can say it.
Yeah, yeah, it's true. It I wouldn't recommend it to this show to anybody. I am very similar to Pete, where I'm really not sure I understood what happened, even when I put the message in our chat talking about it. Maybe I picked up on some of the themes, but I felt very lost throughout most of it. I was kind of just reaching or throwing darts, hoping that I was hitting something with the things I said uh, pre-show or before recording, and I uh, definitely lean more towards what Jolene said as well about when maybe I just went in expecting something different, but I agree that the production is there and that there's like certain high moments and good background art and things going on. But it also felt very chaotic and it felt like so many things were thrown at me at once that I was not feeling like, a big part of production. You can't just have all the fireworks go off at once. You have to have like a story or like a storyboard or a structure to it. And that's where I felt like the show was lacking pretty heavily in the production department, even for its time. But plenty of good shows came out back then too. But yeah, I am very curious to see what we're going to talk about with this episode. I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and I think we might as well just get right into it. But yeah, to be very clear, I would not recommend this to almost anybody, and even Miles, I'm not sure if I would. No, knowing that this is like the avant-garde drama horror kind of thing that he would like. Um, and also made by people who have done other of his favorite medias, like or in the medium. I still don't know if I would recommend this, but I'm curious to hear why he would. So, Miles, why don't you start us off with a? We're going into spoilers, and let's just get rolling right away.
Sure. As mentioned by everyone here, this has no plot. I'm just kidding. Um,
Oh, heel
um,
turn! Hell yeah, let's
yeah.
go.
So we follow a Japanese painter whose name is Eri, who works in an antique shop. Um, his friends over time notice that he's sort of becoming more reclusive and stranger. People are wondering if he's in love with a girl or not. We find out that he is haunted by a Venetian glass that he has, which has the soul of a young uh, princess, noble, some lady who is royal in some way, or noble in some way, um, whose name is Cossette. Through this glass, he can sort of gleam images of her and see parts of her life. And he sort of becomes obsessed with this image of her. As this continues, he finds more of these antiques that are attached to her, finds more out about her backstory, and forms a more, I guess, intimate relationship with her as he is cursed by her and sort of makes a pact to be a suffering stand-in for her murderer, whose name is like very hilarious. Orlando or Marcello Orlando or something. It's just like someone who just sort of invented some
Mario, the Italian man.
Yeah, it was a little like that. There is a bit of a B plot with some women in his life. Reading about the production of this, they weren't sure if they'd do an entire season of this or not, and so they started adding this. And then, admittedly, this doesn't really matter at all. But there are these women who can like sort of tell that he is being haunted by something, but they mostly do nothing the entire time. The main focus of this is on him and Cossette and their interactions and what happens to him as he delves further into his obsession with her. So, I guess the first thing that I'd like to talk about is y'all seem to be pretty confused about what happened in this story. I guess I can't blame that. It is a lot of random ass shit happens. It, do you get like the general overall plot, but you're not sure like how things tied in, or do you just have literally no idea what happened? Is I guess the first question I would ask.
Who wants to go first on that
Well,
one?
like I know what happens. It's more of like I guess like Aries like obsession with Cossette and like the painting and just like the embodiment of who she is and stuff like that. Kind of felt I don't know, it was just like hard to connect this like connection that these two have in the time that was allocated where like the plot, while I understood that there was a plot, it just to me just didn't make a whole lot of sense with the context that we got.
I agree, Pete, and specifically with the amount of time that we had. He was, again, I get 90 minutes of content, but like, why did he fall for her? I guess she cursed him
Yeah,
technically, but that didn't
she's a
happen until later in the.
she's a ghost. She was haunting him.
But why was she only haunting? He's the first one in 250 years that she haunted,
They talk specifically about how he is reincarnated from her murderer, and so there is that distinct connection, right?
and he is that because
He killed
okay.
her.
Why is he that? Because that's who she would appear to. I guess it sort of is
I guess
Yeah.
it's just fair. I didn't like that. Then I guess is what I'll say. I like that as a driving, like as a driving plot device. I didn't like that. Maybe I was also just frustrated by the quick cuts and the thing, and it's the same thing that I've probably complained about a lot on our Monogatari episode.
Oh yeah.
Being able to tell what's real life or not, going forward and backward in time, flashing, back and like literally like bang, 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 bang does not stop in this show for 1 second, and it's hard to tell. Like he's it's an example of something too. It's not exclusive to this anime either. He's getting like electrocuted or whatever's going on. And he's like screaming in pain. He's and it's like, is he actually in pain or like what's going on, or is it a dream? Like like it's almost like Goku like charging to his like 10th power level that is supposed to be the highest power level ever recorded this time, guys. I promise. Like it's hard to, I guess, rationalize or make it feel tangible. Like I'm just
Yeah.
again, that's a very random extra complaint, I guess, but it just ties into my overall frustration with the show where I didn't feel I was following what was happening, and I was sitting there thinking to myself, I must be missing something. I must be missing some metaphor here or some historical context or something else going on that makes this so much more connected and whatever other word I'm looking for here,
Haunted
and
by a
makes it
ghost.
better.
The ghost is haunting him.
And I see Jolene shaking their head. So like, yeah, are you agreeing with me? I assume though. Yeah. Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
hear from Jolene because yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what to say about this show. Like, I was really hoping I could just bounce off of other people. I agree that the cuts were a little bit weird. It was weird that he was getting like Sith lightninged by a doll at the end. It I I don't know. I genuinely don't. I know this is terrible content, like a terrible review, but I've never watched an anime where I was just like, I don't know what to say. Like, I know I didn't really enjoy myself, but it was because I felt confused. And I think that the production of it really aided in confused. Like, there's some shows where the plot is like nonsensical or whatever. That's fine. But it's also like pretty normal as far as productions and values and such go. Like, but this, the production value is like actively working against you understanding what is going on a lot of the time. Like the person like the like we talked about Lazarus last week, right? And Lazarus was like a lot of the plot didn't make sense for whatever reason, but that was just from a writing perspective. The production of it was straightforward. There was like a formula to follow, no like super random cuts, that sort of thing. And that's one type of thing. This, it doesn't have a ton of plot to it. And also the production is like, all right, we're going to show him screaming, getting Sith lightninged by a doll. Now here's the city skyline. It has got nothing to do with anything. All right, he's still getting now he's in a Minecraft build of Cosette where it's like a gigantic version of her holding a candle or some shit. And now here's the doctor sitting
And here's
next
some
to a bed.
butterflies.
Yeah,
It was just
exactly.
it was the necessary end of Evangelion reference in an anime made ever.
Yeah,
With a
there
giant
you go.
ghost.
Okay, well, all right. When you put it like that, I recommend this.
I definitely have a way to bounce off what Jolene's saying there too, where I felt after finishing this, I sat there for a solid 10 minutes. I read other people's reviews. I tried to, both on Mal and elsewhere, I tried to just find a take to have on this show. And I felt so just apathetic towards it. Again, I don't think it was offensive. I don't think it was a message that I necessarily disagree with. Even when we do get to what we think the themes of the show is, like I can see them and I can understand them. But I was just so like I don't even really like care or it's not that I don't care. It's just I feel like I didn't even get enough to get an opinion on what the author was or the creator was trying to say with this show because it was so for me surface level a lot of it was. So I'd love to dive deeper if you do have like specific citations or things. I guess I'm speaking to Miles here because he was the one who mainly liked it out of the most out of us. But I would love to learn more about it so that I can try to be like, oh, I did like that then, because there are a couple things about this show that I thought were interesting, but they're much later in in the show, so I'm gonna hold off on them. But
Yeah. I guess like it, I think okay, so I hate to always fall back on this with things like this, right? But like when you're mentally ill in a very specific way, um, um,
I'm listening.
um, right. So as someone, and I feel like I just bring this up too much on this podcast, but whatever. We're talking about art, um,
Wait,
and
Miles, you have something wrong with you mentally?
yeah, who knew, right?
Whoa.
um, but like when you have obsessions and like delusions and stuff, right? I maybe you just fuck with things like this more because this whole feeling of this weird irrational attachment to this cup because of whatever reason and all that like really hits for me. The thoughts uh, of not it's not like I get shocked by lightning, but like when you're dealing with this stuff, that ragged state he is in, where he's been like torn asunder physically, uh, really just hits bad episodes of obsessive compulsive disorder, where your mind can sort of just it's completely consumed by this one thing to the detriment of everything else. Like you won't leave your house, you won't take care of yourself. You can only ever think of this one thing. That's all you can ever do for months at a time sometimes, which is great and fun. It's sort of why I wish Cat was here. Rip Cat. He's fine. He's just not here.
He's just dead.
He got shocked Sith lightning
The lack
by
of
a
plot
dog.
in this killed
Exactly.
him. And uh, because he has some of the same issues, and I'd wonder if he would relate to them more because even just like these quick cuts to like different things that are unrelated uh are one something I just like directorially, right? And then two are almost these semi-lucid moments of whatever is like actually happening or like the real world. They're like more tangible things that they like ground you to that are like away from getting Sith lightninged by a doll, um which I sort of just took as everything that happens in Minecraft world and everything. I sort of viewed as like a vessel of his obsession, and the whole plot of what's happening in the pain that he feels from Cosette is in a way contrasted with his like prior self, right? Because this does the reincarnation thing, but ultimately it ends up being like you're not that person, right? Like
Yep.
you might have similarities to them, but you're not them. And he's able to move on from his obsession and live I assume normal life. The 10 minutes after this whole event that we see from him goes good. So I can only presume that will carry on for the rest of his mortal life. Um,
do, do we see that
yeah,
he's alive at the end? Because like,
yep,
isn't that the girl that's in the hospital, not him?
yeah. She talks about him wanting to like paint and stuff again. Like he's alive.
Oh,
He-
okay. Yeah,
yeah.
because I went. I guess that was one of the things. The ending I thought was very weird. I guess I assume we're ready to kind of move on.
Do we have
I
anything to bounce off of? Any Pete, Jolene, anything, or do we
Nah.
want to move on? We can move to the end.
uh,
Okay, cool.
well, because like
That's
to me the end had one of the cooler parts to me, or and I say the end really just describing like the latter half of the show. I really liked. I don't know if I'd call this a twist or whatever, but the idea that it wasn't Cosette that was calling out to him, it was the portrait of Cosette. It was the picture, the ideal that the artist created of Cosette that was like causing the curse to him, and that he wants to save the real one or whatever else happens. I really did like that. I was just very confused by did his female friends from real life come in and like join him in his dream world? Is that what happened, or join the curse, or was it just that, or was that just him finally breaking free from his delusions or his
Yeah.
his difficulties. Like that was where it was starting to lose me at the end. I rewatched the final 5 minutes like 10 times because I was just trying to like figure out what was happening or what line I missed that like showed the happy ending that you said that it was semi happy ending, I think is what you said, to be fair to you. But
Yeah.
like I
Well,
just
yeah.
didn't think I felt kind of dread after that ending myself. So
So, okay, I'll talk about why I thought I was semi-happy. I was sort of expecting him to give in to these obsessions, to follow the same path as Marcello, to either kill Cosette or himself, or become so consumed by this that it destroyed him in some way. But ultimately, he's able to get over his infatuation with a 13-year-old girl. I don't know how old she is, but she's supposed to be young, and move on with his life and sort of like develop an attachment to someone who's been there for him, like in reality. Um, and you know, while a bit ambiguous and possibly not the happiest thing that's ever happened, from what I was expecting while watching this, um, it was happier than I thought. I don't know if Pete or Jolene have a on the tone of the ending or just the ending itself.
I gotta say, being able to get over an obsession with a 13-year-old girl is like pretty big for this director. Like that doesn't seem like based on the 3 episodes of Monogatari that I've watched, it doesn't seem like something that happens a whole lot in his works.
He's adapting a work there, I will say, but I did joke with Pete before this that this was, despite being about a pedophile, somehow less pedophilic Monogatari. Um, it's- um, Pete, did you have thoughts on the ending?
Yeah, I guess it kind of went the way that I was expecting it, because it's just like we saw when the dude like killed her that it probably wasn't going to go the same route as the person that he is, like the personification or the, the reincarnation of this type of character, or have similar traits to this character. So I didn't think it was going to go to like the same route of him like being so obsessed with her that he had like kill her, because that's kind of like the vibe that I got from the first dude. Though it's like he had like immortalized this character, this person, and that's why he did what he had to do, even though he ended up killing the entire family anyway. Um, I was expecting it to go the route of the opposite way, so it wasn't really like a twist, but I would say like the thing that I liked most about sort of setting up the ending and everything like that was just like the overall vibes from how they presented like the battles and stuff like that. So reminded me a lot of like a witch battle from Monogatari, not Monogatari, Madoka Magica. So yeah, so like how they set stuff up, I was a fan of, but like how the twist really wasn't like a twist to me, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess I don't necessarily think it was like a twist. I think you're definitely right there that there are hints that he's going to be different. I guess I was just expecting more of like a downer take on that, where he's like, "Trust me, bro, I'm different," and then he's not different.
He's not.
Um, it's but that I do think there were clues there. I don't know. I was expecting it to be sadder. I guess is sort of like, "Oops, we tricked." I was expecting there to be a twist, is what I would say.
Yeah, I guess maybe someone like, the other main girl, maybe like something happens to her. Like, I guess I don't want to spoil like Madoka or anything like that, but there is some twist in Madoka that I'm like, oh, I didn't really see that coming. So maybe something along the lines. Even with Monogatari, they do that too. But like, yeah, I guess it really wasn't like a, oh shit, that was an interesting moment for me in this story at all.
With the ending, honestly, I felt like when it ended, it was like that was it's over. Like
Yeah.
it just kind of ended with like a whimper compared to where it was at whenever you're seeing like his Minecraft world get griefed and whatnot.
I agree. I agree completely. I also was very surprised. I was like, oh, there must be, they have like 5 minutes of end credits on each of these 36-minute episodes. So they were really short, or shorter than we thought they would be. Like I kept saying, I was like, oh, there's definitely not going to be as long of an end credits, or there's going to be a post credit scene here. Because like out of the 4 girls in the real world too that exist and or are relevant, I guess, to his life, other than the Buddhist monk one and the one who shows up in the end to be like in his dream or whatever. Like I feel like the other two just exist, and you think they're going to do something with them, and then they don't do anything with them. Did you feel that way as well? Because I just felt like there was more that wanted to be done here, and
Yeah.
it just wasn't. And that's where I'm very frustrated by it, where there wasn't even enough. Like, you feel that way about a lot of shows. Um, where you're like, "Oh, it was good, but it feels like it could have been better." I don't even feel like there was enough here for me to think that it was fine and then want even more. Like it was so I wish there was just more at a base level, let alone because I want more of it, if that makes sense.
So to get it quick into the production of this, there were thoughts of making this like a 12 episode series at one point, and so the two characters that didn't do anything, and the guy talks about this in some interview that I read, but like basically, yeah, we thought we were gonna maybe do more, but we decided to wrap it up, and that we just wanted to focus on like him and Cosette's relationship. So we introduced these characters and they didn't matter, and that's our bad. But
At least they admit it.
Hey,
Yeah.
yeah, all right, I guess.
I
Fuck it,
respect
why
that.
not? Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Yeah. Not
uh,
not to change topics out of nowhere, but Marcelo's picture on Mal, if you if you look closely, it's literally just his neck, like collar and head.
yeah,
He doesn't
there's
have
no
shoulders or a chest in any way. I just noticed it when I was like, "Who is this character?" And I realized it's like, sorry to jump in out of there. I was just like, "What the hell is that?" It's just background art behind him, behind his head and below his neck. Oh my god. Um, 12 episodes would have made sense for this, I think, for sure. But what I don't know. I'm not gonna be more negative. I'm sorry.
I
I
can be
don't mean to be.
positive.
Yeah, please be
Yeah.
positive. Go ahead, Pete. What do
Okay,
you got?
so the thing that like kept my interest the most about this show was sort of like the world that it was set in. I like the idea of having like separate worlds when you're dealing with like ghosts and paintings and all these other things that are going, these supernatural things that are going on within the world. And I mean, outside of like the terrible, the Sith Lord thing that we've talked about, I thought the show did a really good job at like creating a world where I was entertained. It reminded me a lot of like a Paranoia Agent episode or a witch battle from Madoka, something along like those lines, or even it's like some Rosa Maiden stuff, that Victorian theme. So that's what kept me interested. So I guess for the people who didn't like it, what was the thing that you liked the most that like kept you entertained, if there was any?
I think that like the overall vibe of the series was pretty interesting. Like it did like being mm, sorry. I'm reining in my negativity.
for something
I
that sucked. I really liked the vibe.
yeah, yeah. It's like yeah, exactly,
I
Miles.
got
You
you.
get
I'd say
it.
I can
Yeah,
deal
thank
with that.
you. Thank you. I genuinely think that like the vibes of it that were presented in like the first episode had me full of curiosity. I liked what the main character sort of had going on in regards to like his relationship with the setting and like the sort of setup of the series. But that's kind of also kind of what made it difficult for me was it felt like it sort of abandoned that as the series went on. Because like you said, they obviously didn't have enough time to, or enough episodes to adapt the material in a suitable way to keep that going.
Uh, I think to note, I believe this is an anime original that a manga adaptation was made for, um, and
Mm.
that this was maybe part of the reason they couldn't get it all done is because they were trying to fund a 30-minute, relatively good production valued anime original, um, which I don't know. I feel like there's not a ton of, but as far as I know, the manga does delve a little bit more into things and clean some stuff up, and I think that is done post this. Though I could be wrong. That was just my
I believe
understanding
you're
from.
correct. I believe
Okay.
you are correct looking at Annie List.
One thing I want to say that I liked about this is that if I feel like if we had 12 episodes of this, we would have gone through more artifacts that were hunted by different stereotype anime women, and then he would collect them. Like this was Bunny Girl Senpai or Monogatari, and we didn't do that. And I like that. I like that that didn't happen. Um, and that's not even shade to those two things because I like one of them, but um, and a lot of things that follow that general formula of adding like Sword Art Online does it too, kind of. I just like that we did one thing. I thought that was Rosen Maiden kind of does it. I like that we just had the one thing. I liked the one thing.
That's so funny because like I was about to jump in and say that one thing the nice thing I liked about this show more than I expected to, as someone who doesn't like Gothic, doesn't like Lolita, and definitely doesn't like Gothic Lolita as like a vibe in general. I thought that his real world, the shop that he was in, and the setup, and the especially in the first episode, they kind of like hint at other artifacts or things that are around, or you just see stuff hanging up. I found that setting so much more interesting than the Minecraft world, as we've been calling it, or any scenarios in his dreamland. I thought that setting would have been much more entertaining for me, with all these different historical artifacts or haunted artifacts in some capacity. So I kind of wish they spent more time there. And I just like the art there. That was better too, I guess. That was one of the things that I liked. However, as much as I just said, I don't like Gothic in general. I thought that the music was probably the best part of the show for me. I thought it was incredibly well matched in terms of theme, in terms of I guess how it wanted you to feel, or the setting it was trying to build, both in like quality of the music and just vibe, I guess, or production matching. I thought the music was easily the highlight of the show, for me at least. So there's my compliment, for for the music.
Good compliment.
Uh, yeah, solid music. The last two shows we've done, I'd say.
I thought the music was really good, actually. I mean, I know I said the production stuff was great, and I want to get Pete's thoughts on this, but like I was really impressed with the music. I don't know. There was a lot of things that I liked about this, but it clearly is just hitting like exactly the Miles demo here, and I'm glad about it because I didn't think I would like this, but I did, and I'm excited about it.
When you brought up your OCD stuff, I'm like, yeah, this actually makes all perfect sense for you. Like this is checking every box for Miles. I get why you loved it.
Yeah.
There was a song specifically in episode 3 that stood out to me. I'm trying to remember it, but I would just say like overall with the production, including the music, it was above average than what I expected.
Yeah. Okay. One thing. Yeah, I know we gotta. Do we have to wrap up here, or can
Not
I
even
do
close.
a topic? Okay.
You
So
do whatever
good.
you
'Cause
want.
We're running. I think we're all running out of steam.
Let's do the me show.
Running out
Then
of
I
time.
have things I want to talk about, and I want to hear
Go for
you
it.
guys to see if you have thoughts on it. But I thought, so I'm always when anime does a character that is a small girl like this, I always get a little worried. But I thought Cosette's characterization was pretty good. I liked how they sort of vilified the objectification that she went through and made sure that she wasn't supposed to be viewed as this like ever present child, right? And that the fact that she was quasi stuck in this because of her haunting and when she died and stuff was like a negative thing. And it's sort of like if Monogatari didn't sexualize Hachikuji.
But what can you do?
This exact thing.
Look, Miles, my hands are tied right now. What can I do?
I have to show the 11-year-old's panties. I have to.
You have to.
You have her evil Sith form, literally. She has to just not be wearing anything. We're not going to actually show you anything, but we're going to show you her bare skin every once in a while, just to make sure that you know that it's bare, but it's not really showing anything.
More tasteful than a lot of things we've seen in similar veins.
So here we go. Here's another compliment from me. While I think it could have been avoided entirely, the fan service that was in this show was very tasteful. There we go. Positivity there.
I would say it's relatively limited.
It is.
which is good, considering the themes and the morals of this show. A thing that Pat had touched about really quickly that I just sort of want to connect to the obsession stuff that I was talking about earlier as well, is the idea of something becoming a different entity than what it actually was or is, and how when you obsess over something and you do that, it's a thing that happens. You put it on a pedestal in some. I am spooked. Uh, um, where something sort of gains a different reality than what it like actually is. You adhere symbolism to it. You adhere meaning and things to it that aren't real, right? So like Orlando Monticello or whatever his name was, um, Leonardo da Vinci, um, viewing Cosette as this person who shouldn't be allowed to age because she's like this representation of like a pure innocent beauty and all of that is something that does happen with obsessions, and I really liked the way that it showed how harmful that is for those subjects if they are real people or whatever, and how harmful it is for the people having those obsessions, as we can see by you literally become a murderer or you become some sort of vampire thing that lives in your room and doesn't bathe. Which fate is worse? Who can say? And but I just really like that. I thought that was well done. Where this being that ends up being like, oh, like you can come and you can paint my picture and you can do all this stuff is like not actually her, right? She is stuck in this sort of sleep, and what lives on is like this ghost of her, this projection, this manifestation of someone else's view of her. And that's a very interesting subject, I feel like. Like, what artistic renditions of living people do to those people, and how they, oh my god, this is one of the themes of Human Echo. Look, if you like stuff that I like, watch this.
It reminded me of have you ever seen like Selena, the movie like with
Mhm.
Jennifer Lopez? It reminded me a lot
Yes.
of like that story where like you're so obsessed with like one particular thing that like you feel as whoever you think you are to like be the sole owner, and like you're going to immortalize this person. Like that's your duty. Like that's how crazy this person is. And I think that's one thing that this show did really well. Like Cosette, like the horror tag was needed because like I thought they would like kind of like cut away from her death, but they really didn't, and then they show it twice. So it's a lot. I legit thought it would not be as, I don't want to say gory because it really wasn't gory, but like it's different in anime when we have something like that. So I will say like this goes back to like setting the world up. I think that was like another example of like creating this tone so well in the story with this character or these characters to gauge my interest a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's good. I don't know. We can,
I don't
it
know.
sounds like no, I like it. I mean, I think that's good. I mean, I think it did the horror stuff well. I think the at least for me, I really like the sort of quick cuts. You're not sure what you're seeing. It's like a David Lynch film or something. I'm not saying this is exactly a David Lynch film. Like, I'm not that high on it. But like, I don't know. Like Mulholland Drive and this, I feel like have some stuff in common as far as
They're
what the
essentially
fuck
the
is
same.
happening.
They're the same movie.
They're the same piece of media,
Yeah.
of course.
They both
And
take place in
Eraserhead.
California. Yeah.
I hate the quick cuts, so there you go. That's where this completely lost me.
David
Like
Lynch doesn't really do the quick cuts.
No, he doesn't. That's why I don't
Oh.
understand the comparison, to be honest. I'm
I
saying
meant like the okay. So the scene in Mulholland Drive where they just like cut to the dumpster and like, so like what the fuck was that?
Talking
You
about.
tell
I
me.
just mean like the off-putting, unexplained horror elements of this are that. I don't mean like it.
Yeah, I don't like
Yeah,
unexplained things. So there you go. Like again, this is where it's losing me. Like why did it look fleshy but also not? Like I want to. What are the What the hell were the butterflies? Were they supposed to symbolize the butterfly effect, or were they supposed to be her youthful spirit or something? Like again, I felt so frustrated by it because there was so much going on my screen, just constantly flashing back and forth, and I wanted an answer for it. And I don't know if just to compare it to this person's later work, but Bakemonogatari, if you really wanted to, which I didn't to be fair, but if you really wanted to, every single frame cut or thing that it did, you could pause and look at and understand and attribute to something or read about something that someone has written. And maybe it's because the show isn't as popular that there isn't enough written about it, but I could not find like I barely could find people talk about this show just to like compare my thoughts with other people's, let alone find like critical analysis of it to explain what the butterflies were or explain. And I say all this caveating with the fact that I do agree I can see how it would relate or what mental, because I knew it was trying to convey some sort of mental illness or difficulty that someone goes through, right? And I think that they do, now that I'm tying it directly, like you said, like OCD or something along those lines. I think it's a very good way to represent that. And like with the portrait thing, like focusing in on that one aspect, I thought that was really cool. And how literally electricity is paralyzing you, right? Like I think that was a cool aspect now in hindsight that I didn't get at first. But there was so much other stuff that happened in this that I didn't understand, and I'm still very frustrated by it, I guess,
yeah.
if that makes
I think a
sense.
lot of it is literally just vibe setting, right? Like
Yeah.
it gives you the feeling of something that is happening without a direct explanation. Right? Like there is not like a hard magic, hard Minecraft world explanation for like why there are butterflies there. It's open to interpretation. Is it a metamorphosis? Is it a symbol of youth or beauty? Is it a symbol of the cause and effect stuff like you were mentioning, right? So I think those are all valid interpretations, and I like things that you can sort of fuck around and like mold the meaning of it into there, that there's, you know, like a kaleidoscope or something. There's different ways to look at it, and it's not exactly planned and stuff. Now, I like the other thing too, and I get not liking it because there are times where that happens and I get annoyed.
I hate kaleidoscopes.
And
Yeah. No.
you know, but it's sort of like a perspective of how you're looking at
Yeah.
it changes the thing, and I think that's fun, especially when you're dealing with the sort of mental illness specifically of like delusion and obsession and like all of that, because the shit doesn't make sense. Like every month when I talk to my psychiatrist, I'm like, "Yep, I did this thing this month, and it doesn't make any sense. I understand it doesn't make any sense, but I was really worried that the tomato sauce was gonna kill me." And then we talk about that for a little while, and then he's like, "You got to try to eat the tomato sauce," and I'm like, "Okay, next time I'll try." And I don't know how that would apply to this, because he's literally being haunted by a ghost, but maybe
Well,
maybe
is
it
she
You
does.
know
real?
It's
how do
Maybe
you
just
she
know
fun.
you're
isn't
not,
real.
Miles?
Yeah, maybe it's not real. I think it's probably
It's the
real.
ghost of that bat you killed for no reason.
Yeah.
It's also the bat that I didn't kill, that I hired someone to kill for me,
That's
for
even
no
worse. You
reason.
couldn't even do it with your
Is
bare hands.
No, I had to kill a mouse with my have I ever told this story?
With your
I don't
bare
want to hear
Not
this.
hands?
the not the
Yeah, I
mouse.
don't, I
Okay,
don't, I don't,
okay.
I don't
You
think
guys
this
can
is one
deafen.
for
I
the
want to hear
pod.
it. I
I don't
want to
think this
hear
is
it.
one for the
You
pod. I'm not
just
gonna
Okay.
deafen.
lie.
No, no,
It
no,
wasn't with
no.
my bare hands. It was with a hammer. It was.
Whoa!
You're
You
canceled. Get
can't
him
leave
out
me
of here.
hanging. You can't leave me hanging. I
I'll
need
tell
to
you after.
know.
I'll tell you after the
Yeah,
pod.
tell it
And
off the pod.
yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
what the hell?
And it wasn't cruel, and I cried doing it, is what I will say. Um, that is. Uh, but yeah. Anyways, and much like that, um, this was a show that we watched.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
Okay.
do we
Yeah,
want to do
if
closing thoughts? Like,
we
or
can
do
do
you have any
closing
other
thoughts.
specific?
It is a movie. It makes sense for a little bit shorter. Also, you guys all didn't like it. So unless anyone else has other thoughts, I think I have said all the things that I want to say about this. I know we have some people who listen who like Shaft. If you're a big Shaft anime fan, watch this, is what I would say.
Watch it in the
And
front row of a movie theater so you can be like Shaft and put your head up like this and watch it.
do the head tilt. Yeah, if you want to see the possible origination of the Shaft head tilt.
Dude, it has to be it. It has to be this. Like I think it's episode 3 where the dude like looks and like slowly does this move. I'm like, that's Aragi. That's 100% Aragi. The exact the fluid movement.
A show called Magical Girl Lyrical Nanoha from 2001, which had the Shaft head tilted and had future Shaft employees on it.
Did this guy work on it?
I don't know if he did, but there was a bunch of Shaft employees on future Shaft employees on it.
Well, that's gonna be Miles's next nomination. I'm sure.
Is it too long?
Who knows? Please don't nominate it. But yeah, I guess let's do our closing thoughts and final scores. So Miles, what would you like to start us off scoring wise, and what are your thoughts there?
I'm sure
I
we'll
just said that.
only be going up from here. But I really liked this. There are some faults to it, as we've mentioned. There are sort of some plot hooks that are never like fully delved in, so I can sort of forgive it. But they are in fact abandoned. They make you think that, hey, this will probably be something, and then it wasn't. However, I love the personality of this. I love the aesthetic of this. The music I thought was great. I thought it was very pretty. And I sort of liked how it presented these issues, and I liked how he didn't romantically end up with a child. I was very impressed with that. Which says something about
right
something.
We are the bar is in hell.
The medium we love.
Yes. But that's where I'm at. I gave this a 9. So
Wow.
let's go down from there.
A 9?
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah, like,
yeah.
If, for example, I think this is better than Monogatari if you are into that sort of thing.
Cool.
Well,
fair enough.
Yeah, whatever. Look, sometimes there's a 6.5 on Mal that's really built exactly for you to like it, and this is mine.
I gave Yurakumi Arashi a 10, so like
me too.
Yeah, it's like fuck it, who cares? Fuck it, we
Lazarus
ball.
for me, I guess last week.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. All right, Jolene, how about you?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that this show, it wasn't the worst thing I ever watched. I'm not going to give it like a horribly low score. I think that it was like, I do think that if you're into like Shaft and in particular like Shinbo's stuff, then this is something like Pete said. If you're like trying to watch all of this director's works, then this is like pretty like, I mean, it's very obviously him, like I've only seen a few of his things, but like the DNA is there. I think that the DNA from this is in like Madoka. I think that there's a little bit of Monogatari sprinkled in there with the obsession with a child that you don't really know that well. Like Pat said, the music was probably the highlight for me because it does literally become an AMV at points, especially in the 3rd episode where they have lyrics on screen as it becomes an AMV, which was pretty cool. Again, just gonna say, production value for this, 2004, we had Samurai Champloo that came out, we had Monster that came out, we had a lot of, and that was in the same season, not even the same year, by the way.
The stuff from really quick that I've watched is like, besides Paranoia Agent, which is better, this is like Maria Watches Over Us, which is not a production giant, Rosen Maiden, which this definitely looked better than, and Elfen Lied, which I don't know, I think it's a little worse than this, but is not bad. Yeah, okay.
Anyway,
well, I meant specifically production.
Long story short, I'm giving this a 5.
Okay, I'll take that.
5. All right, P, how about you?
Yeah, for the qualms I had with like the actual story, I do think that the show itself was entertaining enough to like keep my interest throughout the 3 episodes. I'm glad it wasn't more than that. I don't know if I would have lasted more than what we've gotten, just because you can only do so much unless, I don't know, we got way cooler fights, but the fights in this show actually kind of like low-key sucked. Love
High key.
love the high key sucked. Really just more than anything enjoyed the world sort of like setting like a tone. This will sound super random, but if you heard my review of Hikaru, just sort of how the summer Hikaru died, just sort of how that show sets a tone for like this small town horror, really adds to the ambiance of that show. I thought that this show did the same thing, where it sort of set the tone really well for what it was trying to present. So I'll give it credit for that. But I just overall, I mean, it was entertaining, but I didn't enjoy it. I didn't really like it that much. I'm gonna give it a 5.
5 already. Yeah, I also like thinking of it. I just remember finishing it and not being particularly interested in diving much deeper. I think all the positives that Jolene and Pete have mentioned, in spite of not enjoying the show, are all the ones that I had as well. I didn't expect to come in blown away either, to be fair, but I also agree that this show wasn't. So this wasn't like offensive or an abomination or something that I felt was morally abhorrent. It's just I felt there wasn't a lot here. It felt very surface level to me. I'm glad we discussed it, and there's more to it than I guess I was able to take from it. But it's my score for because it's what I can take from it, right? So I ended up at a 4. I think it's because I was looking at my list of fives, and every show that I have at a 5, I enjoyed at least a little bit more than this. But I don't think it was bad. Like it's not unwatchable if you specifically like this very niche level of things. So yeah, that I think that wraps us up. Let me do our
Anybody
quick
watch the
maths
dub
here.
real quick?
I watched the dub.
No.
Okay. Was it any good?
It was fine. The parts where he was like screaming was so fucking bad.
I would imagine.
It was pathetically voice acted. Outside of that, fine.
Okay.
It was fine. Okay, yeah, I watched the sub.
I assumed the dub would be dog shit, so I watched the sub.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would
There we
say
go.
slightly better than what you would expect from a 2004 dub.
Fair enough. All right. Well, with our final score between the four of us, we ended up with a 5.75, unless I'm doing math wrong, but I don't think I am.
I believe you
Uh,
are correct.
That puts us an entire point below the MAL of a 6.77. But yeah, I guess that wraps up Les Portraits de Petit Cossette. And yeah, let's talk about what we're watching for our next episode, our actual spooky episode, by the way, because
Yes.
we came 2 weeks early. But some of us have that problem. It's not our faults.
I always come
It
2
is
weeks early. It's
our
it's
faults. Yeah,
it's tough in the moment, but useful 2 weeks later.
we're just so
Um,
excited. We're just we can't
I
help
call it
it.
premature.
We you're just well, it's just so beautiful, like our club and what
This
we
never
do. So
happens
sometimes
to
it
me.
happens. It happens
I swear
occasionally,
it
but
never
not always.
happens.
Right. All right. Did you guys get that joke? Did you like that joke? That was good.
Ooh.
Yeah, thanks. Uh Miles, what won for Watch Club for our spooky episode?
for sure. In third place, we had School Live, as nominated by me. A weird fraction of our audience, big School Live fans, apparently. Did not realize that. It is a classic, I get it, but alas. In second place, okay, I'm not going to do the same bit again. We had Hikaru, which came in with 26 points. And then with 25 points, but the requisite legacy points to win, we will be watching Zombieland Saga.
Woo.
Hey, another trans W.
Yes. Genuinely. And we will talk about that in 2 weeks. Not the spookiest thing, but we did get a pretty spooky thing in now, and it is spooky enough for
Yeah,
Halloween,
that's
I
fine.
think. So, yeah.
The first episode is pretty spooky, I would say, too.
Yeah, I said spooky. I said not the spookiest thing, not
No,
spooky at all. Yes.
Just saying, it's zombies. Zombies themselves, the existence of them is scary for a lot of people. And the CGI in this show keeps me up at night too. So there's a lot of spooky shit in this show. I'm so excited because then we can eventually watch season 2 and then we can all watch the movie too when that comes out. So at the end of this year. So this is one of my favorite shows that's come out in the last like 10 years. So I'm very excited to talk about this. And yeah, a win for Pat as well, back in the win column. But all right, let's get back to our regular nominations and figure out what we're doing there. Miles, did you come prepared? Do you have
I
a
did.
nomination?
The people have been asking for a champion. They have said, Miles, you need to be the champion of the people. And I thought, in honor of Thanksgiving, I would nominate
I love it.
Turkey.
Let's go!
I was gonna nominate it. I was gonna fucking nominate it.
Let's go!
It's very clever. I like that.
God damn it.
Good choice. Good choice.
Piece of
All right.
fucking shit. I need a moment.
I'm sorry.
Pete, are you ready as well?
Oh
or
yeah, I'm
no?
ready.
Keep yourself
Okay.
safe, Miles. Keep yourself safe.
Yeah, keep yourself saying KYS, right? You know, as they say. Yeah.
Oh, I get it. Because of the, yep, okay.
There
So-
you go.
So we just wrapped up summer. We had a ton of bangers, and there were some that slipped through the wayside that I wasn't able to watch. So go and play a little catch up. I'm gonna nominate Clevitis, I believe is how you pronounce it.
I believe it is called the clitoris.
When I find it, I'll let
You
you know
can't-
what it's called.
I was about to say Pete can't find it. Damn it, you beat me to the
Shit's a
self
myth.
burn.
Can't step on my touchdown call, baby.
Some liberal bullshit.
Toss. Yep, that is how I would say it, based on the Japanese.
All right.
Nerd. What's wrong with us? I think we're all done with this.
I mean, it's
That
fair.
was mean. I'm sorry. No, well, yeah, it is. You're speaking Japanese. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? No, I revoke my apology. There we go.
Arigato no more. Or no, that's not an apology. Sumimasen no
You
more.
don't even know the language, you nerd. You're,
Oh,
go back, go
you're
back.
you're a
Nerd.
dork. You're nerd.
I can
you're
only
not a nerd.
I can only read it. I can't.
All right. Jolene, do you have a show?
Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and nominate Dawn to Dawn.
Ooh,
Ooh. Okay.
that's a
Did we
good
watch
one.
another seasonal from this year? Hell yeah.
That would be
Was it
from last year.
Was it from last year? Really?
Season 2 was this
Yeah.
year.
Yeah.
Okay. I feel better than about myself there.
And it was winter or fall last year, but alas,
was?
last
Okay.
year.
Okay. We're gonna pretend I didn't say that then. Thanks, Trent, for totally editing that out. Wink,
I'm
wink.
editing it,
Shit, I'm so fucked.
so it's being
Well-
left in.
Pete,
Yeah, yeah,
bleep out that guy I mentioned earlier, though.
Nope, that's a good left in too.
No.
Yep, get fucked.
Okay, I'm gonna nominate the show that I thought was going, or I think came in second, right? The Summer Hikaru died.
Yep.
Yeah.
It sounds very interesting, and there's a lot of hype around it, and it seems our community was really interested in it. And yeah, I
It's
didn't.
good.
I'm almost at the end of my nominations or things I have in my plan to watch that are not, longer than 25 or 12 episodes. So, yeah, I'm very happy with where we're at right now, and I think we have 4 very good nominations this week. I think all of them will be interesting.
I
I
like it.
nominated turkey. What?
I like turkey.
Is turkey not good?
I
thought
liked
turkey
it a
was
lot.
I don't know if the word good would be used.
Psyop. It's a fucking psyop on Pete's part. I don't believe it.
I did genuinely enjoy it.
We might find out in.
I think
2
I will have a
weeks.
great time with it.
You
Of
can find
note, I
out
had a great
right
time.
now. I did a
with this
review
show.
on it on the last episode. Same with Hikaru.
Yeah. I intentionally avoided that part because the season 2's coming too, right? So I'm very curious about
Yep.
that. Yeah, sweet. All right, I guess that wraps up Watch Club. So Pete, why don't you take it away?
If you have made this far and you want to support us, the best way to do so, like, comment, subscribe, leave a review on whatever platform you're watching or listening to us on. I got some news coming up. I have to go back into the office. So episodes will now be dropping on Tuesdays instead of Mondays because that's when Trent normally sends over the podcast episode. So Little shift, not that big of a deal. But next week there's no episodes because I have to go into the office. I have to do a bunch of planning and stuff like that before that. So I'm taking my first week break of the podcast since I went to Japan 2 years ago. So sorry, no episode next week. Otherwise,
You disgust me.
you can prep it for our Zombieland saga. Everyone can go rewatch it and we can have a great conversation because in 2 weeks we'll be watching the first season of Zombieland Saga. Thank you, everybody, and we will see you next time. Peace.